Hello, Raiders, and welcome back. We are continuing our journey with Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and today we are going to go through Chapter 7, My Dinner Goes Up in Smoke. When we left off, Clarice had dragged Percy into the bathroom, tried to shove his head down the toilet, and he freaked out and caused water to shoot up out of the toilets, knocking Clarice and her friends away, also dousing Annabeth. She was not happy about that. But he was very apologetic and was confused about why that would even happen. So today we're going to learn about Percy's gift a little bit more and maybe kind of foreshadow who his dad might possibly be. Okay, so Chapter 7, My Dinner Goes Up in Smoke. Word of the bathroom incident spread immediately. Wherever I went, campers pointed at me and murmured something about toilet water. Ugh, gross. Or maybe they were just staring at Annabeth, who was soaking wet. I've got training to do, Annabeth said flatly. Dinner's at 7:30. Just follow your cabin to the mess hall. Annabeth, I'm sorry about the toilets. Whatever. It wasn't my fault. And she looked at me skeptically. And I realized it was my fault. I'd made the water shoot out of the bathroom fixtures. I didn't understand how, but the toilets, they responded to me. I had become one with the plumbing. Okay. You need to talk to the Oracle, Annabeth said. Who? Not who. What? The Oracle. I'll ask Chiron. Okay, well, I think I would just rather go home. I want to go home now. Annabeth frowned. Don't you get it, Percy? You are home. This is the only safe place on Earth for kids like us. You mean mentally disturbed kids? I mean not human, not totally human anyways, half human. Half human and half what? I think you know. I didn't want to admit it, but I was afraid I did. I felt a tingling in my limbs and a sensation I sometimes felt when my mom talked about my dad. God, I said, half God. Annabeth nodded. Your father isn't dead, Percy. He's one of the Olympians. That's crazy. Is it? What's the most common thing gods did in the old stories? They ran around falling in love with humans and having kids with them. Do you think they've changed their habits in the last few millennia? But those are just, I almost said myths again. Then I remember Chiron's warning that in 2,000 years, I might be considered a myth. But if all the kids are half gods, demigods, Annabeth said, that's the official term is demigods or half-bloods. Well, who's your dad? My dad's a professor at West Point. I haven't seen him since I was very small. He teaches American history. Who's your mom then? Cabin 6. Meaning, Annabeth straightened. Athena, goddess of wisdom and battle. Oh, I thought, well, why not? And my dad? Undetermined, Annabeth said, like I told you before. Nobody knows. Except my mother, she knew. Maybe not, Percy. Gods don't always reveal their identities. My dad would have. He loved her. Well, I don't know about that. So, anyways, in the mortal world, Annabeth goes on, we attract monsters. They sense us. They come to challenge us. Most of the time, they'll ignore us until we're old enough to cause trouble. About 10 or 11 years old. But after that, most demigods either make their way here or they get killed off. So monsters can't get in here? Annabeth shook her head. Not unless they're intentionally stalked in the woods or specially summoned by somebody on the inside. Why would anybody want to summon a monster? Practice fights, practical jokes, practice fighting. Yeah. The point is, the borders are sealed to keep mortals and monsters out. From the outside, mortals look into the valley and see nothing unusual, just a strawberry farm. So you live here year-round? Annabeth nodded. From under the collar of her t-shirt, she pulled a leather necklace with 5 clay beads of different colors. It was just like Luke's, except Annabeth's also had a big gold ring strung on it, like a college ring. I've been here since I was 7, she said. Every August, on the last day of summer session, you get a bead for surviving another year. I've been here longer than most of the counselors, and they're all in college. Why did you come so young? It's none of your business. Oh, okay. So I could just walk out here. I could leave if I wanted to. It would be suicide, but you could with Mr. D's or Chiron's permission, but they wouldn't give permission until the end of summer session unless you were granted a quest. But that hardly ever happens. The last time, and her voice trailed off, back in the sick room, when you were feeding me that stuff, the drink, remember the drink? Ambrosia? Yeah, you asked me something about the summer solstice. So you do know something. Well, no. Back at my old school, I overheard Grover and Chiron talking about it. Grover mentioned the summer solstice. He said something like, we didn't have much time because of the deadline. What did that mean? She clenches her fists. Oh, I wish I knew. Chiron and the satyrs, they know, but they won't tell me. Something's wrong in Olympus. Something pretty major. And last time I was there, everything seemed so normal. You've been to Olympus? Yeah, on a field trip. I took the Long Island Railroad and then got off at Penn Station. And at the Empire State Building, there's a special elevator that goes all the way up to the 600th floor. You are a New Yorker, right? You should know this. Yeah, but as far as I know, there's only 102 floors in the Empire State Building, but I didn't point that out. So after we visited, the weather got weird. It's as if the gods started fighting. A couple times I've overheard satyrs talking. The best I can figure out is that something important was stolen. And if it isn't returned by summer solstice, there's gonna be trouble. So, anyways, I shook my head. I wish I could help her, but I felt hungry and I was tired and mentally overloaded to ask anymore. I need to get a quest, Annabeth muttered. I'm not too young. If they would just tell me what the problem. Oh man, I could smell barbecue. It smelled delicious. My stomach started growling and she told me to go to your cabin and she would catch me later. So I went back to cabin 11. Everybody was talking, horsing around, waiting for dinner, and I noticed that a lot of campers, they all kind of looked alike. Sharp noses, upturned eyebrows, mischievous smiles. They were the kind of kids that teachers would peg as troublemakers. Thankfully, nobody paid attention to me as I walked past everyone over to the spot on my floor, and I plopped down with my Minotaur horn. The counselor Luke came over, and he had the Hermes family resemblance too. It was marred by that scar on his right cheek, but his smile was intact. Found you a sleeping bag. Ooh, and I stole some toiletries for you from the camp store. Aw, thanks. So, I don't belong here, he told Luke. I don't even believe in gods. Yeah, Luke said, that's how we all started. Once you start believing in them, it doesn't get easier. So your dad's Hermes? I asked. Yeah, Hermes. Did you ever meet your dad? Once. Well, Luke looked up and managed to smile. Don't worry about it, Percy. The campers here, they're mostly good people. After all, we're like extended family, right? We take care of each other. Well, I have one more question. Clarice from Aries was joking about me being Big 3 material. Then Annabeth, twice she said I might be the one. She said I should talk to the Oracle. What is that all about? Luke folded his knife. I hate prophecies. What do you mean? Don't worry about it. Annabeth wants to think every new camper who comes through here is the omen she's been waiting for. Now, come on, it's dinner time. 11, fall in. Everybody lined up in order. I was last because I was the newest person there. So we walked over, went into the mess hall, and there was lots and lots of food. Chiron was there, and he banged his hoof. Everyone went silent, and he said, "To the gods!" And everybody else raised their glasses, "To the gods." The food came out, and you could just speak the thing that you wanted to drink. So I said cherry Coke, and then I said, nope, blue cherry Coke. Blue cherry Coke. And my Coke turned blue, and it was delicious. And it made me think of my mother, and I know she's not gone. She's in the underworld. So interesting. So now I have this platter of smoked brisket. It's so delicious. It's like a big steak. But we had to go to the fire, and Luke said, burnt offerings for the gods. They like the smell. You're kidding. He wasn't kidding. So Luke walks up to the fire, bowed his head, tossed in some grapes, and said, Hermes. I wish I knew what to say for my God. I didn't know. So I dropped my meat in, went back to my seat, and Mr. D got up with a huge sigh. Yes, I suppose I'd better say hello to all of you brats. Well, hello. Our activities director, Chiron, says the next capture the flags Friday. Cabin 5 presently holds the laurels, meaning they were the winners. Ugh, ugly cheering from Ari's table. Personally, I couldn't care less about congratulations. Also, I should tell you we have a new camper today, Peter Johnson. Percy Jackosn. Mr. D corrected. That's right. Hurrah and all that. Now run along to your simple, silly campfire. Go on. Everybody cheered, and we went down to the amphitheater where Apollo's cabin let us sing along. We sang songs, ate s'mores, joked around, and it made me feel like home. I didn't feel like an outcast. So I went back to my bed in cabin 11, and I went back, I closed my eyes, and I went to sleep. And that was my first day at Camp Half-Blood. It was great, but it wasn't going to last very long. The end. Woohoo!